Greetings, aspirants and loyal servants of the Imperium. I am Brother Sendarax, a tech marine of the Adeptus Astartes. Today I shall educate you on your allies within the Imperium of Man, also known as the Armies of the Imperium. Disclaimer, this is the Armies of the Imperium from the GW website. This is just a basic lore overview of a part of the website. The Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum are regular mortals who are either conscripted or volunteer to serve in the Guard as it is commonly known. They are the first and last defense of the Imperium and should have your respect for fighting the same horrors as us without the same augmentations that we have. These average men and women are commonly equipped with flak armor, some grenades, and a standard issue las gun. A las gun is a type of las weapon, las standing for laser. This weapon comes in many forms, from charge shots for extra damage to fully automatic fire, and is customizable for all ranges. The guardsman's average lasgun can blow off limbs of other unarmored or unaugmented humans and take out massive chunks of rockreed. However, even the commanding officers of the guard call these weapons flashlights, as a single shot is not nearly enough to kill your average foe, such as an orc. However, the Imperium of Man has many soldiers that we can drown our enemies in las fire, and we can utilize many different weapons and vehicles. The Guard also has tanks such as the Leman Russ and Rogodorn, as well as air support such as the Valkyrie. This is to say nothing of the myriad of other vehicles at our disposal, from anti-air to artillery. The Astra Militarum also recruits a lot of abhumans. Abhumans are strains of mutants that are still human enough to serve in the Guard. Often you will see Ogrins, Ratlings, or maybe even the rare Psyker. The Astra Militarum comes in many flavors, each serving different uses based on the skills their homeworld taught them. The world that most guard regiments base themselves on is Cadia, a world that guarded the Eye of Terror against all chaotic incursions. That world has recently been lost, a wound felt across the entire Imperium. However, we can all learn from their example, as the planet broke before the Guard did, showing their never-ending devotion to the Emperor and setting an example for us all. Other famous regiments are the Kriegsmen, a regiment specializing in attrition and siege warfare. They entrench and hold the line until they die or the enemy's war machines are jammed by their bodies. Another regiment is Catachan, from a jungle world so hostile that even the horrors of the warp look like puppies by comparison. From the Schola Progenium, we have the Tempestus Scions, elite soldiers raised from childhood to be the best unaugmented humans they can be. The Inquisition often utilizes these elite troops as personal guards or armies. The Adeptus Mechanicus is the client empire of the Imperium that provides it with everything it has, from the largest warship to the small screw holding a toy together. They're the endless industry and logistics that keep the Imperium of Man alive. They believe in the Omnissiah, or the machine god if you will. They use the mantra, the flesh is weak, often augmenting their body with cybernetics and, more rarely, enhancing their biological aspects. Their goal is to uncover all of the technological secrets of the universe. The Mechanicus soldiers are called Scutari. They are vat-grown humans who are augmented for their purpose within the Mechanicus military. They often have their arms and legs replaced and their eyelids removed so that they can be alert and ready at all times. The Mechanicus also utilizes other units such as mechanical steeds, Da Vinci flying machines, large mechanized soldiers, dune crawlers, and cataphrons, servitors, whose legs are replaced with tank treads and their arms replaced with cannons. Also among their armies are the electro priests, priests who have devoted themselves to the wonders of electricity and lightning. These priests are often blind and have massive Tesla coils attached to their bodies, allowing them to electrify their enemies. The Mechanicus often do not fight outside their own systems in Forge worlds. Forge worlds are entire planets devoted to the industry of the Mechanicus, the most important one being Mars, the home of the cult Mechanicus and the founding world of all their beliefs. The Adeptus Sororitas, or as they are more commonly known, the Sisters of Battle, or just the Sisters, are an all-female military branch of the Ecclesiarchy. They were once founded by a rogue head of the Church of the Imperium and that disgusting imperial cult.
That's heresy.
Who the fuck's just said that? You stupid priest can't even Where was I? Oh right, the Sisters of Battle. A religious order whose faith in the Emperor can manifest itself into actual miracles. They can be found on almost any battlefront, staving off the enemies of mankind. They are armed with bolters and power armor much like members of the Astartes, although since they are unaugmented, they are smaller and less powerful versions. They also make great use of flamethrowers and melta weapons, burning away the enemies of man in holy fire. They drop churches onto the battlefield from orbit and make it rain holy water. Then they sally forth with their pipe organ missile launchers, servitor infant ammo carriers, and throngs of fanatics ready to give their lives. They also have penitents among their ranks, sisters who have committed a great sin or believe they have committed a great sin. Those sisters join the Repentia, going into battle with nothing but a sword and a prayer, and if they survive they are redeemed. Those who fall the furthest are put into penitent engines, machines designed to maximize their suffering while causing massive devastation to the enemy. Imperial Knights are giant industrial robots from the dark age of technology turned into weapons of war. They are piloted by actual knights or nobility from knight worlds, named as such because they come from knight houses. A knight house is an order to which a knight belongs. Knights are often pretentious pricks, but their arrogance is well earned. Few have the honor of piloting a knight, and with that knight they can accomplish great deeds. Knights are assets even more valuable than Astartes, as they are much bigger, stronger, and more irreplaceable, as the technology to make more has been all but lost. Knights come in several sizes and can be equipped with a myriad of weapons. The Armiger class knight is the smallest of the three major types of knights. Standing around 6 meters or 19 freedom units tall, these knights are faster than their larger cousins, but are much more limited due to their lack of armor and weapons customization. They are often deployed as scouts or guards for their larger knight brethren. The next size up is the knight itself, aptly named as it is the most common model. Standing at around 9 meters or 29 units tall, they come in many variations in weaponry such as lightning gauntlets, chain blades, Gatling cannons, regular cannons, melta cannons, and the like. They're the knights you will most likely see if you ever met one. The final of the three main knight sizes or types is the Acastus Knight. They are around 12 meters or 39 freedom units tall and almost as tall as Scout Titans. They have a smaller variety of weapons compared to the smaller counterparts, but they make up for that by the sheer power of the weapons that they do have. They have weapons like plasma cannons, cannon turrets, missile launchers, triple melta cannons, and electro harpoon guns. These things are exceedingly rare, and if they are used, it is often by the heads of a knight house, and even then they might only be used for ceremonial purposes as they are too valuable to lose. Knight worlds are often backwater in terms of technology and very medieval in their way of running things, but the Imperium doesn't see a need to interfere as long as the knights march to war when called upon. The Adeptus Custodes, the Emperor's finest, his chosen few, the 10,000. Their names get longer with each accomplishment as their names are a grand title and list of deeds. These are the personal bodyguards of the Emperor himself, and when he walked among us, he crafted them in their gear himself. Many of those he created personally still serve on Terra itself, ever vigilant in the duty to protect the Emperor. Until recently, they never left the Imperial Palace except to monitor the Sol System or guard someone who'd one day become essential to the Imperium's survival. Now that the Avenging Sun, Lord Guilliman, is back, they have become much more proactive in the galaxy at large. To a mortal being, a space marine is an angel of death, one of the Emperor's servants gifted with divine power to protect the Imperium and slay its foes. What an Astartes is to a mortal is what a Custodes is to an Astartes. They are so valuable and hard to create that there are never more than 10,000 of them at a time, hence the title. Their armor is glistening gold and their war gear is mastercrafted and tailored to their preferences. Each piece is a unique piece of art whose value can be measured in entire solar systems. No Custodes can use another's equipment because it is just that unique. Even their dreadnoughts and vehicles are insane. Their dreadnoughts may as well be Imperial Knights for their scale and destructive firepower, stronger even for the skill of the one interred within. Custodes are not just killing machines, however. As the Emperor's chosen few, they are all well educated in many things. From poetry to sculpting to painting to engineering, the Emperor wanted them to be the best of the best. He wanted his 10,000 to be weapons that could never lose. To speak on the allies of the Custodes who keep the Emperor alive on the Golden Throne, we have the Sisters of Silence, an all-woman order that protects the Emperor from all psychic threats and collects his daily 1,000 psyker sacrifices from across the galaxy. The Sisters of Silence are what's called a blank, a person without a soul or a negative soul, which sound similar but are very different things. Their very presence makes people feel sick, and any psychers near them actively try to kill themselves as it is preferable to standing near them. This power extends to demons or psychic phenomena, causing them to permanently dissipate or destroy a demon permanently. For the last 10,000 years, the Sisters of Silence have fallen into stagnation. They were slowly dying out, only guarding the Imperial Palace on Terra or collecting the sacrifices for the Emperor on the Black Ships. The Black Ships are starships that go from world to world collecting untrained psychers and bringing them back to Terra. There, the psychers would be separated by those who were fit to be trained to serve the Imperium and those who wouldn't be worth the effort. Those that did not make the cut were turned into living batteries for the Emperor to keep the Astronomicon lit and the Emperor alive. After Lord Guilliman's return, the Sisters have also seen a resurgence and have become more active, much like their golden counterparts, the Custodes. Last but not least, we have the agents of the Imperium, your rogue traitors, inquisitors, and assassins. Rogue traders are members of the Imperium who can be trusted with a warrant of trade, a document allowing them to have massive sway and power over others. They are given ships, a task, and permission to explore the galaxy and colonize new worlds. Most importantly, they can use this trade and exploration for profit. For rogue traders are almost always merchants, as is in the name trader. However, the kind of trade they do is entirely up to them. There are cargo traders, transporters for missionaries, political figures, troops, there are explorers and diplomats. Sometimes they can even be mercenaries mercenaries for the highest bidder in the Imperium, using their massive resources to profit from conflict. Rogue traders are always profit-oriented. As long as there's money to be made, they will happily work alongside you. In my experience serving under one, they are often the most tolerant and open-minded people within the Imperium. Up next are the Inquisitors. Inquisitors have absolute authority, beginning, middle, and end. Only the Primarchs, the Emperor, and the High Lords of Terra have permission to boss them around. Their motto is innocence proves nothing. They are the secret police, and if you ever see one, they want you to see them, and your life is about to get a whole lot worse. These are one of the few people who have the authority to condone entire worlds to exterminatus, or in simple terms, cause the death of a world. They only show up in search of one thing: heresy, be it cults worshipping the wrong god, Xenos, or just regular traitors. An Inquisitor only shows up when something significant is about to happen. They can demand anything from anyone in the Imperium. If the response they get is no, then they are entirely within their rights to exterminate you, your family, anyone you've ever spoken to, anyone who's ever seen you, and anyone who's ever heard of you, and erase all trace of you from the physical and bureaucratic worlds. When they say to do something, don't make them repeat themselves. The Assassinorum. These people are living weapons and tools to be disposed of to remove specific threats of the Imperium. They can only be ordered by the Master of Assassins of the High Lords of Terra. They mostly come from one of 4 major temples. Vindicare are snipers who can lay still for months on end in hibernation and wait for the perfect shot to present itself and take it without a moment's notice. The Calidus, who are more often women and use the drug polymorphine, allowing them to change their appearance and get close to their target and take them down from the inside, or even replace their target and take down their entire operation with poor decision making. The Eversor. There can be no witnesses if there was no one left to witness. They are kept in stasis 24/7 and dropped onto their targets from orbit. They break free in a drug-addled fury and blitz through entire areas in seconds, killing everyone they see. They are monsters of wild, uncontrolled fury, endlessly pushing their bodies to the limits. These ones die the most due to their short shelf life. Finally, the Calexis. These are more blanks, like the Sisters of Silence. However, they have a device on their head that turns their blankness into a weapon that can kill. The Eldar have called these things the greatest evil in the universe, and they're the race that birthed a god that ripped the galaxy in half. And with that, we have covered the armies of the Imperium. Please leave any further questions in the comments, as I must return to my duties elsewhere. If you are enjoying my content, then please drop a like or perhaps subscribe. Such support pleases the motive force of the Omnissiah and gives me the strength to create more for you wonderful aspirants. Thank you, and have a good day.